Hey guys, welcome back to IDB. My name is Michael. I have sort of a different video for you today. So I was browsing a local Marshalls and I came across a really weird pair of knockoff AirPods. You can see they are pretty much carbon copies to the original AirPods Pro. However, what caught my attention is that these have a display. And this gave me inspiration for a new series I want to start on this channel called Random Tech I Found, or RTIF. So this is episode 1, and I want to cover these really weird headphones with you. I'll tell you what's good, tell you what's bad, and show you the experience. So starting off by comparing these, you can tell that these are just carbon copies of the original AirPods Pro. You can even see that the speaker holes are identical, even though I don't think these speaker holes even do anything on these headphones. They also have the exact same lanyard hole on the side. You can see on the back there is a logo on the knockoff ones, but they also have a button in the exact same place. In terms of feeling in the hand, I still do think that the original AirPods are heavier, even though this has a fully working display, which is kind of weird. You can always tell that the knockoff ones are just built a little bit cheaper. So in terms of connecting these to your iPhone, some knockoff AirPods were able to spoof the AirPods connection, and you were able to get that slide up from the bottom of your screen. However, with these, it does not work. So you have to pair these just like normal headphones. So I've done that already. Once I open up the case and then take out the headphones, they are going to connect to my iPhone, as you can see with that volume slider there. So now they are connected to my iPhone. You can go ahead and close the case, and now you can interact with the display and you can control various things. So here you can see it is actually playing a song, and I'll open up my music app so you can see that right here. I can go ahead and skip a track if I press it right, and you can see there it's going to skip it on my iPhone as well. So as a first impression, this is actually really cool. I think it's kind of nice to have this as an option. Of course, you can do it on your watch. You can obviously do it on your phone. And if you have a normal pair of AirPods, you can do it right from the earbud by double clicking. But it is kind of cool to have a visual of what's playing on the headphones right on the case. So here you can play and pause, and you can skip and go to the previous track. If we go over to the next option, this is volume. This is where it was a little bit frustrating for me because the volume control is very delayed. So here, if I go ahead and hold my iPhone, when I press volume up, you can see it's a little bit laggy. And there's about a 2-second delay from when you hit the button to when you actually see the volume change on your iPhone. So that's a little bit annoying, but again, these are knockoff AirPods. And just remember throughout this entire video that these were only $30, so you are gonna get what you pay for. Going into the next option, this is where it becomes kind of a joke because I don't know what this option is on the left, but the middle one is active noise canceling and the far right one is transparency mode. And I was trying out these headphones when I had them in my ear and I couldn't tell any difference. When you switch from noise cancellation to transparency mode, the funny thing is they actually do mimic the sound that the original AirPods make when you go from different modes. It actually pauses your music when it plays that sound, which I find kind of funny. However, it doesn't do anything at all. What is kind of weird is that inside the box, it does say that you're gonna get less battery life if you have noise cancellation on. But again, I found it literally doesn't do anything. So if you are buying these headphones, I would just recommend turning noise canceling off and always have it on transparency mode. The next option here is an equalizer. I did turn it on and I set it to popular. I think this is the best sounding one if you just want a balanced sound. Also, there is a timer, which I think could actually be useful. So if you're using these in the gym, if you want to set a timer for like how long you want to walk on the treadmill or however long you want to lift weights for, you can do this right on the case as well. We can have a mode selection, so you can go from music to gaming. I tried switching the mode and I couldn't really tell a difference. Here you can choose the brightness of your display. So I set it to low so it could show up better on the camera, but you can bump it all the way up to high if you want to get better visibility in high sunlight situations. You also have a language selection right here. We can choose a wallpaper, which is kind of cool. So I set it to what looks like sort of a beach scene. It looks like we have another nature scene, and then we have a random car as well. So these are just very random wallpapers. And then on the next screen, you can choose a wallpaper for your UI. So you can see here, if I set this and then scroll, that is now my wallpaper. So I'm gonna leave it off because I like it simple and black. The next one is a clock. Now, I actually didn't have to set this, so I guess with Bluetooth it connected to my iPhone and it does know the exact time, which is kind of nice. So you can have a clock synced up with your iPhone. Also on the next one, we have Find My earphones. So these are connected to Bluetooth. Let's go ahead and see if they work, because I assume they're not going to work. So I have the right one. It should be pinging, but as you can see here, nothing is happening. I tried this off camera and they simply don't work. That's what you're going to find with a lot of these knockoffs, is that they simply don't work. On the next screen, we have a flashlight. In my opinion, the screen doesn't get nearly bright enough for this to even work for anything. If you want to use it in a pinch, if it's the only source of light that you have, I guess it could work, but I don't think it's going to work for anything useful. This one, it looks like you can favorite a song. Let's go ahead and see if this works. So if I hit on the heart, I don't think it did anything on my iPhone. And in fact, it just disappears after I click it. So I don't think this is functional at all. And then the next page, this is actually probably one of the coolest features of this knockoff set of AirPods, is the camera control. So on my iPhone, if I go ahead and open up the camera, you can use this as a camera remote. So if I point it and click it, I can actually take photos. And what it's doing is it's mimicking the volume up button. You can see just the delay there is ridiculous, but it looks like it's picking up the pace a little bit and it's actually working. So it's not going to be as fast as a dedicated headphone button or the Apple Watch control, but if it's the only camera control you have, you can definitely set up your iPhone and you can use your headphones case to take photos, which is kind of a cool feature. And then on the next page, it looks like we have a shortcut for a voice assistant. So I don't think this is going to work, but let's grab our iPhone and see if it works to trigger Siri. I'll click it. And it looks like nothing happened. I'll try it one more time. And it is not triggering Siri. So it looks like it works. So it looks like it's going to be hit or miss. And I think the Bluetooth connection is very, very slow, and it's using a very old protocol for Bluetooth. So everything when it's talking to your iPhone is going to be slow, as you can see with the camera control and the voice assistant as well. And if we swipe, we go back to the main page. So the UI itself is pretty lackluster. It doesn't look good at all. However, I do think that there are some good ideas in here. I do like the ability to control the music. I like the option to have a timer and also a clock, which I didn't even have to set the time on, which was a nice surprise. I don't think the flashlight is very useful. However, what I do like is the camera remote. I definitely think that will come in handy. A lot of people just carry around their iPhone and their AirPods. So if you don't have anything else to take a photo, having your AirPods case could definitely come in handy in a pinch. Some of the other features like active noise cancellation, transparency mode, and the equalizer are just terrible. Like I said, I can't even tell the difference between noise canceling and transparency. And the equalizer itself, it doesn't really do anything when it's equalizing a horrible sounding pair of AirPods. So I guess that's a good segue into the next part of the video. I haven't even talked about sound quality yet, but these knockoff AirPods, they sound like knockoff AirPods. They are just absolutely horrible. When you're holding them in your hand, it feels like there's literally nothing in my fingers. They're so light. There's no hardware in these at all. So you're not going to get good sound quality at all. They're very tinny. There's absolutely no bass. But I guess that's what you expect when you're paying $30 for a pair of headphones. I'm assuming all of the money went into the case and this cool display, which, like I said, is kind of cool. But when you're buying a pair of headphones, you want the sound quality to be good. And that's where these kind of start to fall apart. These sound like junk. I actually did notice that these little black dots, I think, are skin sensors or they're light sensors, because when I do take them out of my ear, they do end up pausing the music. However, it does have quite a delay. So after I take the headphones out, it'll pause my music like 5 seconds later. It's almost comical. So I don't know if it's just that bad of software or if the Bluetooth latency is that bad, but it is connecting to your iPhone. But everything you do with these fake AirPods, you're going to see a delay. Whether you are taking a photo, changing the volume, taking the headphones out for auto pause, everything is going to be slow. But as I say all this, just remember that they were only $30 and they do have a built-in screen. There was one kind of small attention to detail thing I kind of liked, which I wasn't really expecting. So when you go to put the headphones back in, the screen is actually going to show you which headphones are in. So when I pop in the right one, you can see it knows that it's in. Then I pop in the left one, and we get the corresponding animation. So this is kind of a nice thing. I wasn't expecting this on such a cheap pair of headphones. So there definitely are some upsides of having a display. But again, if Apple were to do this, I think they would do a much better job. And that is how I want to transition into my final point, and that is if Apple were to do this. So I think there were some rumors floating around lately that Apple was trying to add a screen to their AirPods Pro. And after using this, I can definitely understand why. I think it will be very cool, especially if Apple is going to be adding some health sensors into the AirPods in the future, such as a heart rate monitor. It will be cool to have that display on the AirPods case showing your heart rate. And then if Apple's going to be doing this, obviously everything else is going to work a lot better. Like Find My AirPods, I think that would be very useful. I can see them having a camera remote, also being able to change the sound profile and the equalizer settings right on the AirPods case would be very, very useful. So it's kind of funny that we see all of the rumors floating around that Apple is going to be making AirPods with a built-in screen. And then a few months later, we see all of these knockoff companies out of China making fake AirPods with a display. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see Apple make a set of AirPods with a built-in screen. So that's going to do it for this video. If you guys have enjoyed this first episode of Random Tech I Found, let me know in the comments. And also, I'm looking for ideas for future videos. So also let me know in the comments down below if there's any random or weird or funky technology that you want me to review on the channel. With all that said, my name is Michael with IDB. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.